Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Joe Cioffi. It's weather in 5 days in 5 minutes as we take a look at weather going on this afternoon. Still dealing with really miserable conditions across much of the Northeast with either rain or in some areas as you move up into upstate New York and New England, you've got some freezing rain, even a little bit of snow in some places. Well, this is all going to start winding down, thankfully. There have also been some thunderstorms that rumbled up in parts of eastern Pennsylvania. Got messages from some folks about hearing thunder and some lightning. And indeed, the Storm Prediction Center actually had some of the area at a marginal risk for severe weather today, which kind of makes sense because of the fact that we're dealing with this redeveloping low that's happening right on top of us. So a little bit of a warm sector moving into parts of Maryland and Delaware and down into Virginia, trying to nose northward. In the meantime, you have that very cool marine layer just wedging in the other direction. So let's take a look at what's happening weather-wise this afternoon. And we're waiting, and we've got our low that is up in northern Michigan, and you see this sort of long arm that extends across up eastern New York down to northern New Jersey and offshore. There actually is a little bit of a secondary low that we can pick out. It's right about there, developing just east of the Delaware coast or just southeast of Cape May, and that's going to move its way on out to the northeast as this low eventually just dies out. But it's got a ways to go. The upper feature is going to be spinning away across the Great Lakes with some that snow shield that you see there, and that's going to continue in tonight and into tomorrow. But meanwhile, as the low moves away, we're going to have improving weather conditions for the most part from northeast Virginia to southern New England for Tuesday, New Year's Eve, and for Wednesday, New Year's Day. It's going to turn, it's going to be on the chilly side. Some places today having a tough time getting out of the 30s. Might actually be a shade higher than that tomorrow and for Wednesday with some sun. On the other hand, if you're in southern Pennsylvania, southern New Jersey, south and west, where you're in the upper 40s to mid 50s right now, as of 2 o'clock Eastern time, you're actually going to see your temperatures a bit colder over the next couple. So a little bit of lake effect action going on Tuesday across western New York, northwestern Pennsylvania, and maybe even reaching into parts of the Catskills there as this low winds up in New Brunswick and then pulls away to the northeast. Thursday is looking good, but you can see there's rain on the way for Thursday night and Friday. We've got low pressure coming out of the southern plains, and that's going to be heading up toward the Great Lakes. So we'll get a little bit of rain here Thursday night into Friday morning. Looks like a warm front goes by, and then we'll just wait for the weather system to move along. And weather conditions should improve over the weekend, and then again, turning colder with a quick shot of cold air. You notice, by the way, the highs are going out to the south of us, and that's usually what happens in a pattern where you get shots of cold air that last for a day or two, and then they move out. And right now, it's looking like it'll be a windy weekend, but dry for the most part, and on the cold side, and then temperatures will start to moderate again. And here comes the next weather system along about later Tuesday. Low pressure is going to be moving towards Chicago. I'm going to watch this to see if this winds up being a little flatter and a little further south. We'll see. But right now, I'm really not all that concerned with respect to where this is all going to wind up in the longer term as far as snow, rain and snow is concerned. So we still have some leftover winter weather advisories and ice storm warnings going on in northeastern Pennsylvania. They've been taken down for Sussex County and northwest New Jersey. Sullivan County under a ice storm warning, and then on up through the Catskills. Elevation, though, makes a big difference. Some places getting freezing rain, some not. Winter weather advisories on the other side of the Hudson until you get to the northwest Connecticut, New York state line, the Massachusetts, New York state line, and eastward. And you can see there's some ice storm warnings going on there in parts of the Berkshires. We had coastal flood advisories up, but those are done, and a little bit of minor coastal flooding at high tide today, and that was about it. And as far as severe weather is concerned for today, the Storm Prediction Center has a marginal risk from southern New Jersey down into Delaware and northeastern Maryland. And they actually had a general risk of thunderstorms right up into the Hudson Valley. And it made a lot of sense because when we looked at the radar here, you can watch the loop, you can actually see those cells here moving through northeast PA and then heading on the other side on the New York State side and then running up to the north. So we've got some bands of precip left to go. This looks like it'll be the last band that's now moving through eastern Pennsylvania and northeastern Maryland. That'll be moving out in the next couple of hours. It'll probably move out of the New York City area late this afternoon or this evening, and a little bit later for eastern Long Island and eastern Connecticut. And then we can watch weather conditions improve after that. Quick look at the satellite loop, seeing this rotating large surface storm that's up around the Great Lakes. And you can see the trailing cold front, a little bit of a secondary low starting to form there off the Delaware coast as eventually this all winds up in eastern Canada. And then you've got a lot of dry air from Texas across the Gulf states and kind of dry slotting its way up through the central Appalachians, and more energy in the west. You got another system off the coast, the northwest coast. You can see that moisture driving inland there. And then there's a low dropping southward along the coast of Southern California and Baja California. This is going to eventually swing around and set up the weather system that we're going to be dealing with here in the east for Thursday night and for Friday. We'll have our regular YouTube live stream tonight on my YouTube channel, Joe Cioffi, and it will be yet another version of the Joe and Joe Weather Show. Joe Rayo will be joining us for the full hour, so do join us, join in on the chat. Just subscribe to my YouTube channel for free with your Gmail account, and you're all set to go, and you can join in on the conversation, or perhaps you could just want to leave some general comments. That's fine too. That's tonight at 7 o'clock on YouTube. App users will get your updates going into this evening. And of course, you could watch the Joe and Joe Show live on my 2 free weather apps. The Meteorologist Joe Cioffi weather app available on Google Play or on the App Store, and Angry Ben's weather app, the Angry Weatherman, which is available on Google Play. All right, folks, we'll see you later. Hopefully you'll join us tonight on YouTube.